Hey Floxies, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be going over something that's very, very important to every Floxie, and that's food sensitivity and inflammation and chronic inflammation. Hey, what I'm trying to do right here is I'm trying to get the information out to the Floxie community. So if you could subscribe to my station below the little red button, subscribe, or if you could give me a thumbs up on the video, this would help more Floxies in the community get access and have availability to these videos. Okay, so today we're going to go over a very important thing, which is food sensitivities and are you sensitive to foods. So basically on a very broad basis, we're going to be talking about your GI system. So let's start off with what is normal healthy GI function, okay? So you should have 2 to 3 bowel movements every single day. Yes, I said 2 to 3 bowel movements every single day. No constipation, no diarrhea, no gas, no bloating. If you have something other than that, that tells you that you have some kind of GI issue that needs to be addressed. Now, clinically, helping thousands of Floxies at this point, what I've seen also is Floxies don't even necessarily have to have any kind of GI issues to actually have a GI issue and cause leaky gut. But if you have these overt symptoms, you have leaky gut. Leaky gut leads to chronic inflammation. And working with thousands of Floxies at this point, basically people come into me really on 2 camps. One, that they have central nervous system problems, anxiety, depression, racing heart, like they're just revved up, or they have tendon problem and pain problems. So whatever camp you're in, or maybe you're in a mixture, but generally speaking, Floxies have one or the other. They're skewed to one or the other. Is that you have chronic inflammation. So if you have chronic inflammation, that inflammation is in your blood. It can pool in your tendons. It can pool in your knee. It can pool in your elbow. It can pool in your neck. That's why your pain might come and go in particular areas. Now, when it comes to your brain fog, your brain doesn't say, ow. What happens you have, when it comes to your brain function, your brain doesn't say, ow. It has other symptoms such as brain fog, brain fatigue, chronic fatigue, depression, anxiety, racing heart. All these are indications that you have inflammation and things aren't working right. And do you have food sensitivity? So that's really what we want to get over today is do you have food sensitivities and how do we eliminate that to actually see if you do. So leaky gut, inflammation, and being flexed. That's the topic today. Your small intestine is 36 feet long. So when I talk about the gut, the leaky gut in particular, I'm talking about your small intestine, which is literally 36 feet long. So this is a huge, huge organ, and it has a huge influence on if you're healthy or sick. So here, check this out. Down here, look at this. 80 to 90% of your immune system is located in your gut. OMG, I'm going to just say that one more time. 80 to 90% of your immune system is located in your small intestine, the gut. So what does that mean for you? That means if you have any GI issues, if you have leaky gut, you're not going to get better. You have to fix the digestive system. You have to fix the gut. If you have a bad gut, you have chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation leads to every disease, tendon pain, brain problems, an array of problems that we have to figure out. Now, as you know, if you've watched my videos in here on YouTube, I'm a huge, huge fan of pictures. Pictures speak 1,000 words is what they say, right? So I love pictures. So I'm going to give you a pictorial visualization of your gut and leaky gut. And what I'm going to compare this to is I'm going to compare this to the skin on your finger versus what your gut barrier looks like. So we have the skin barrier, then we have your gut barrier. So what is that? What does it look like? So over here, this is your skin. So we've all cut our skin, thousands and thousands of times over our life. Now, if here you're going to see these little cells, this is 1 cell thick, uno. Okay, so 1 cell, 1 cell, 1 cell, 1 cell. So we have lots and lots of cells. So, and then down here we have your bloodstream. That's the blood. So if you've ever cut your finger, this is a very, very good barrier. You literally have to go through thousands of skin cells to hit blood, to hit the artery, okay, to hit the capillary, to get blood. Thousands of skin cells. Now let's compare this to your digestive system or leaky gut. See this here? This is 1 cell thick. This is your blood, okay? 1 cell, blood. 1,000 cells, blood. So what does this tell you? This tells you that your gut barrier is very, very poor. All right, 1 cell thick, uno cells determines if the outside environment, because of food, there's one thing that has an opening on both ends, right? That's your digestive system. So you have to realize in your digestive system, that's the one thing that travels through your whole entire body from the outside and then exits. Okay, so this is an open system to the environment. You can look at it that way. And what keeps things out and in from your bloodstream is one cell thick. Uno. All right, so look at this right here. So this is one cell thick right here, and this is your blood. All right, so things can immediately get in here and cause havoc, versus here, these skin cells is very, very, very thick. Now in here, I'm just going to draw some pictures because I like to draw some pictures here. As you can see this here, let me try and change the color on that so it's a little easier for y'all to see. So you can see here, this is one cell thick right in there, right? Okay, and then this is where we have your blood, and then we have, you know, whatever, hundreds to thousands of skin cells here before you hit your blood. So this would be your food. Okay, this right in here, this is your small intestine, this whole area in here, it comes in here, and this is your blood. So when we talk about leaky gut, right, what exactly is leaky gut? It's when your cells, your one cells start to decay and rot and deteriorate. And look at this right here. You see this is a nice healthy cell right here. You can see what's starting to happen is these cells are starting to degenerate and decay. And then what happens is then there's big food particles in here that can come through your leaky gut and get into your bloodstream right here. And then this causes reactions. This causes malabsorption. It causes autoimmunity. It causes food tolerance. It causes blood-brain barrier breach and systemic inflammation. So if you have a leaky gut, this is very, very bad for you as a Floxy to try and recover battling a leaky gut. Now you can see here these big food proteins right here. This is gluten, comes from wheat. It's big enough and it goes right in there, and then what happens is your immune system sees this gluten, which is sitting right in there. Let me change this color again. It sees that gluten in there, which is from wheat, and then your immune system starts to attack it. And when your immune system starts to attack it, Floxies, what do you think happens to your systemic inflammation here? It goes what? It goes up. And then you start to get sicker and sicker and sicker. And guess what the Fluoroquinolones do? They're the atomic bomb to your small intestine. All right? They kill everything, man. These things are dangerous atomic bombs, as you know. So they literally kill all your flora in your entire digestive system. This is just where I've blown it up so you can see gluten. And then a lot of people don't realize this, but within, so this is your small intestine right here. This is where the food would be, okay? This is where the food would be, and then this is your bloodstream, and this is the inside of your body, okay? Now, a lot of people don't realize this, is you have microorganisms, right? So you've all taken probiotics, and probiotics are good. And the truth of the matter is you have a lot of bacteria in your gut. Now, what happens is these bacteria, just like any animal, like just a dog, humans, they have to go poop, okay? They go poop. All right, and now when they go poop, there's a little debris here when the junctions are open, gets inside of here, and what do you think that does to your inflammation? It does what? It increases your body's inflammation, causes nutrition malabsorption, autoimmunity, food tolerances, intolerances, blood-brain barrier breach, and systemic inflammation. So all these things get in right in there, and then they cause inflammation. They shouldn't be in there. This big particle shouldn't be in there. Your immune system starts to attack it. This right here, the bacteria, the poop of the bacteria shouldn't be in there. It starts to get in there and starts to attack it. Inflammation goes up, and you continue to get worse and worse and worse. And now let's say the Fluoroquinolones affect your Achilles tendon. Now your Achilles tendon's inflamed, and now your blood's inflamed because your GI system is bad. Now you have chronic inflammation. You go to the conventional system. They tell you it's all in your head. And you continue to get worse and worse and worse. Okay, why can I see that so quickly? Because I've seen this hundreds and thousands of times in my practice, helping people, helping the community. So this right here, this is kind of a cool test. In the functional medicine world, there's literally, you can spend $100,000 on testing. So in my opinion, like the testing needs to be very specific on what's going to get you better, the quickest, the fastest, with the minimum expense. That's kind of like how I work. So right here, what this is here, this test here, you can see here, it's an intestinal permeability panel right here. So you got some kind of big words right here. I'm just going to explain what this is right here. So the zonulin right here, what this is between each cell is mortar, right? Now, if you ever go and look at your bricks in your house, like if you have an older house, all right, there's the brick, and then between each brick is the mortar. The mortar is what holds the brick together, right? Now, the new houses, they just pour big cement, slabs. But back in the day, brick and then the mortar between each brick and then on top of the mortar to hold the bricks together, right? So what happens here, the zonulin right here, this is the mortar between each brick. So what this is measuring here is like the mortar here, the zonulin has broken through and it's gone into your bloodstream. Okay, now when we do food sensitivity testing, we are looking into the blood. And how this works is we know what certain things look like. Like we know what we know what gluten looks like. We know what eggs look like. We know what almonds look like. There's a very specific structure. It's like a picture. It's like taking a picture of someone's face, and once you can have a picture of that person's face, you're always recognizing. Like I'm the same way. Like I can recognize people's faces, but the name. What's the name? The face is boom. You know that I recognize that person. Can't remember his name, but I know his face. This is the same thing with your immune system. Is your immune system recognizes certain things, it takes a picture of it, and then when it ever sees that thing again, it starts to attack it. So it specifically knows what gluten looks like. It knows what these little mortar things look like between the bricks here, which are called zonulins. It knows what it looks like. So if it's in there, these things are big. It's telling you that these big proteins have gotten through into your bloodstream, and then your immune system sees that. It's like, holy smokers, that thing should not be there. Big, let's attack it, let's cause inflammation. So when we look at the zonulin here, this is actually telling us that the mortar between these bricks here has busted away, and it's sitting in your bloodstream, and your immune system has taken a picture of it, and it recognizes it. Now, this LPS right in here, what is that? That's a picture, or right in here, that's a picture of the bacteria's poop. We also know what their poop looks like. It's very, it has a certain pattern and it looks a certain way. So this is really dangerous because this is really pro-inflammatory. Like look at this here, 307. So this little bacteria right here, you see that's the bacteria. It's going to poop and it's going to get in your bloodstream, and your immune system knows what it is and it starts to attack it. This is why the GI system is very, very critical to start to handle, and there's lots and lots of ways to go about handling your leaky gut. Now, the leaky gut's one approach. Now, when patients come to me, I'm doing a polytherapy approach. So the more things that we can put, this is you, if we can do 10 slight little things all in conjunction with moving the needle from flax to health, this is when people start to recover and gain their life back. So what happens here? When you are inflamed, this is your cell. We are literally a spirit in a cellular being. Let me just say that again. You're literally a spirit in a cellular being. You're literally 100 trillion cells. Now what happens is when you're inflamed, when you have leaky gut, the outside of this here of your cell, this is you, becomes crusty. Okay, it becomes inflamed, it becomes crusty. Then what happens is things can't get into your cell and things can't get out of your cell. Your cell here is developing things and it's pooping and it's making toxins, and those things need to get out of the cell and good things need to get into the cell. But when you have chronic systemic inflammation, chronic leaky gut, your cells become inflamed, they become crusty, and they don't function the way that they ought to. The way I would describe this, I don't know if you've all had like a jelly donut, right? You have the fresh jelly donut. It's very, just thinking about a jelly donut, right? And last time I had a jelly donut was, 10 years ago, a long time. But the outside of that donut is very soft and it's gel and it's moisture, right? Now, if you would eat that donut, if you'd keep that donut out for a week, it's going to be very crusty. This is what's happening with your cells when you're chronically inflamed. And remember, the fluoroquinolones destroy your digestive system. Now, I like this video here. This is a great video, and it's going to show you what's happening when it comes to the leaky gut in your bloodstream here. So it moves kind of quick. So let me just orient you to what's happening. So right in here, I hope you can see my little pointer there. This is your gut, okay? And then within your gut, it's like a shag carpet, okay? Just think of it like a shag carpet. So you have the shag carpet, which is one little shag, and then on top of this one little shag, there's millions and millions of small little fibers. Like if you take the one like big strand of the shag carpet right here, and then you're going to see those individual strand fibers. This is what happens in your digestive system. Your small intestine, like if you lay out your whole small intestine, check this out, it would cover 2 tennis courts. That's how much volume, a surface volume there is in your GI system, your small intestine. 2 tennis courts, that's all the cells spread out, 2 tennis courts. So we're talking a massive amounts of surface area that can be inflamed, causing problems. So you're going to see here, this is the bloodstream right here, down here, and this is your villi, and then we're going to blow up your villi right here so you can see what's happening with that here. Okay, so now here, let me just kind of, okay, so now we're on these little villas here. Okay, so now this right here is your bloodstream. This is the microvilla, the little shaggy things on top there. And those are the things here, right? Those would be the shaggy things. These are the things in here that absorb your nutrients and get nutrients in your bloodstream. So these are very, very critical for good function. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is this thing right up in here. Okay, so this is where your food would sit. Now pay attention to what's happening with that. Now you can see more inflammation is starting to develop. More inflammation, you're chronically inflamed. You see these little bugs that are starting to develop in here. Immune system, inflammation. Look at the villi now. Okay, now this is critical. You see this right here? This is very, very critical. In your small intestine, there's a layer of saliva. Okay, it's just like your tongue. Like if you ever had dry tongue and your tongue, you keep on licking it, you're trying to get saliva on your tongue. This is what's happening with the coating of your whole entire small intestine. There's actually a layer of like saliva called Sig-A, secretory A, and you need this to protect those little villi cells from damage. Now, when you have chronic inflammation, you're going to see the saliva in your small intestine, the protective layer, starts to diminish. You see here how it's going away? Now, when it starts to go away, it starts to expose these cells here. And remember, how many cells between the gut and your bloodstream? 1. Okay, only 1. So it starts to expose these cells right here. And look at what happens. So now you see all this, you see this bacteria right now? These could be good guys, they could be bad guys, they could be gluten, they could be eggs, they could be little pieces of almonds. You see how they have direct exposure right there, and then they come in and they start to cause lots of inflammation. Now, this is when you start to get the leaky gut. You get more leaky gut. Look at the cells right here. More leaky gut. These things start to shrivel up, decay. The saliva is starting to disappear even more. There's basically direct access right from your small intestine right into your bloodstream, causing massive inflammation, massive leaky gut, chronic brain problems, tendon problems, Achilles tendon problems. Now you see how it just continues to get worse and worse and worse. You see how it's getting worse and worse and worse. More inflammation, more bacteria. These guys, these villi, these cells continue to get worse and worse and worse. More inflammation until finally, we have some significant problems happening. So this right here, I'd just like to give you a visual so you can see it visually what happens right here. You see this right here, nice, good, thick layer, and then this is starting to happen when you start to get the leaky gut. Saliva's gone, leaky gut, cells start to go through. So you can see here that your gut is very, very important. And remember, 80 to 90% of your immune system is located where? In your small intestine, in your gut. So you want to make sure that this is very, very healthy. Now, one of the things that I do is what I do food sensitivity testing. I really like this test a lot. So what we're actually testing, it's a blood test. This right here, this is I use this US Biotech, and it's very, very simple test. You do this at home. We mail you the kit, and it's just a very easy, you see this right in here. There's this 12 spots of blood. You just prick your finger. really simple. And then you just blot this thing with the blood, and then it's checking to see if you have food sensitivities in your blood. So what is it actually checking? So let me kind of go over that. So here, now what we're talking here when we talk of food sensitivity, a lot of people say, well, yeah, I think I had that. I think I went to the doctor and they did this thing and they put me on my back and they said I was allergic to like pollen or whatever. That's not the same. So I just want to be very clear. Like, you've had this thing on your back, that's not the same. This is an IgE reaction, meaning you have an immediate reaction. See these red spots? They're immediately inflamed. Then what we're checking is a different component of your immune system, which is the IgG. So I don't want to get too technical, but my point of this slide here is to let you know that it's not the bat test. This is actually a blood test. And what we're doing in the blood test is, you've seen those pictures of leaky gut. We know what these proteins look like. So we know what almonds look like. So we're actually checking your blood to see if you have anything that looks, your immune system has anything that looks like almond, right? And this is what we call the IgG. Like, these IgGs things here develop, and it will look like almond. It will look like milk. It will look like gluten, whatever you're sensitive to. So this is what we're actually measuring here to see if you actually have a mirror image. This is a mirror image of that food that you're sensitive, that's in your bloodstream, measured through IgG, which is part of your immune system. Okay, so here, so food sensitivity testing, I just want to kind of go over this so you can see this right here. So this is a person here. So 0, we want to be like in this area right in here. So you can see this person, the higher the graph, the worse it is, the more sensitive someone is. And when I say sensitive, there's an array of problems that can be happening when someone says they're sensitive. I mean, it could be that, you have Achilles tendon, you have pain that comes and goes, you get brain fog, brain fatigue, you get gas, you get bloating, you get constipation, you get diarrhea. You don't know if you're going to have constipation or diarrhea. It's just kind of a whim. It just happens, right? These are indications that you have sensitivities. Now, the more sensitivities you have also tells me the integrity of your gut. So you can see here that this person has quite a few sensitivities. So not only do I get an indication like wheat, gluten, almonds, some broccoli here, not only egg whites. I mean, this person has a lot of things going on. So then you have to take a strategy on, so what are you going to eat? Where are you going to start to reverse this condition so you can start to heal your gut? So one thing I like about this test is, one, it tells me what foods you're sensitive to, the degree that you're sensitive to them, and indirectly it's measuring your gut barrier. Like, if you come back and you have tons and tons of foods that you're sensitive to, that's telling me that your gut barrier is very, very poor. Now, if you come back and you only have, you're sensitive to 1 or 2 foods, that tells me that the integrity of your gut isn't as bad as someone that's lit up. Now, what I've seen clinically with Floxes is most Floxes are lit up because the Fluoroquinolones destroy all the flora in your in your gut. Okay, so that's what I've seen clinically happen. Okay, food sensitivities, and then this is my roof here. So this is before. So I had someone come and like repair the cement on the roof, and you can see before the big cracks in here, water was getting in. It's leaky, right? And then after this, after he came in here and did his cement work up there, it's nice and solid, and it's not leaking. So you can actually restore your gut from this condition here. This is possible from here to take it to here. And this is really critical for the, what I just kind of stated. You have to really, repair and seal your digestive system, and then look at you as a human being, not you as someone that's crazy or someone that's, has these odd, weird complaints. And when you have leaky gut and this affects your brain, you can have weird symptoms, right? And you can go to the doctor and they think that you're crazy because you're all over the map. You're not crazy. You're just inflamed, and you have neuroinflammation. You have brain inflammation that can come and go. Your blood-brain barrier is broken, it's breached. So you might eat something that you're very sensitive to, and then all of a sudden you get these weird neurological symptoms because now it's affecting your brain. So at the end of the day, Floxes, I'm going to let you know is I hope you found value in this, and where there is help, there's hope for you to get well. Take care. Bye-bye.